Hey everybody, Huju here. Opening up, unboxing, yeah, I almost cut myself. Unboxing a new acquisition, new airplane. I just got this today. Ordered it from Banana Hobby about a week ago, not much better than that. And I'm kind of breaking a rule. I remember telling myself and somebody else that I wasn't going to get any more airplanes for my collection because I had everything I needed, everything I wanted. And that is true. This is a variation of another plane I already have. I have the E-Flite version of this. The difference is the E-Flite version is much smaller. It's almost a UMX size. It's not a UMX. They don't advertise it as a UMX, but it does have the stabilization. It is Horizon Hobby. It is E-Flite, and it fits in one box all together, and you carry it with a handle, just like if it was a UMX. So I just kind of call it a UMX plane. So I have that in the E-Flite version, and it's very fickle. And like any UMX airplane, your electronics, this thing comes out really difficult. I use my hands as pry bars here. They say not to use your hands as tools in place of tools. It's very bad for you. That's what I was just doing there, prying with my hands. There we go. Get this box out of the way. Anyway, the E-Flite version of this, being a UMX size, the electronics and the motors and the servos are very small and delicate, and they don't always work very well in a complicated arrangement like this airplane is. And you'll see once I open this up what I'm referring to with the E-Flite. And got more tape down here at the bottom. And I think we probably have it on both sides. I'm kind of surprised that this is from Banana Hobby. Of course, Banana Hobby is a distributor, not the manufacturer. This is made by Blitzrcworks. Blitzrcworks, yes. But I am surprised that the box is just plain white all the way around. There's no fancy pictures, marketing pictures on it. Just a white box. Kind of raises my eyebrow as to the quality. But I mean, we're all used to the normal higher end manufacturers boxes with airplanes that we get, and they have all the fancy pictures and posters on them. This one does not, but that's what happens when you get against a lower end manufacturer. I think the last one I had that came all white was a 64mm F-18 back when Rock Hobby was doing it, and they only had that out for a year, maybe 2 years. And that was a spin-off of the FMS F-18. So here we go, right box. Get this out of the way. Instructions out of the way. So here it is, what we have. This is the Blitzrcworks, if I can say that right. The V-22 Osprey from Banana Hobby. And here's the main fuselage. Now the reason I got this was because I have the E-Flite version, like I mentioned, and the E-Flite version is probably lengthwise from here to here, considerably smaller in that scale. And I've damaged it once before by flying it, and it did not do the transition very well, and it nosed into the ground. No, the first time I wrecked it, I was actually trying to do a loop with it after transitioning into forward flight because they were very fast. And I repaired the front end to that, and then the other day I did it again. I was trying to transition it in some pretty stiff wind, and it did not. The first time it transitioned okay and it flew, but the second battery it did not. And I've had to analyze the video on that, and when I post a video of that crash in flight, you'll see exactly what happened. Well, but I've had my eye on this for quite a while because it's a little bit bigger. It can handle a little bit more wind, not a whole lot. It's very light, and comes in the Coast Guard colors. I'm pretty sure the Coast Guard does not currently fly V-22s, but I think it was a concept, and it's a pretty interesting concept, so therefore they made the livery for it that way. This is the main wing. Already has the pylons attached. Has the bring this up closer. Has the pylons attached. Kind of freewheeling here with no power, which is I'm guessing is a good thing. Already has the control rods hooked up to the ailerons for when you're in the forward flight mode, when it's acting like a twin engine airplane, not a helicopter. So here everything's all hooked up and ready to go. I just have to make adjustments, I'm sure. Servos installed, wiring. So this, I'm sure all you have to do is put the wires in and plug them to the control board and the receiver. Screw it down and you're good to go. Good to set up the programming anyway. I like the black leading edges here for representing the de-icer boots, because a lot of planes, propeller type planes, have a rubberized de-icer boot on the wings that inflate with bleed air, and they break off the ice. So this kind of represents a de-icer boot. Nice colors. I do have to admit though, I mean, this is not a new, I'm way out of the picture here. This is not a new airplane model by any means. This has been around for 4 to 6 years. Maybe this may be the newest livery, but the model kit has been around for 6 years. And back then, they weren't all so particular about seeing the foam texture under the paint. Today, they do a much better job of hiding that. But when they made these things, they weren't so particular about it. So you can see the foam clearly through the white paint here. So I'm not surprised. I don't really like it, but I can look past that. Well, I have to look past that if I really want to enjoy it. Put this thing back in here. I give you two. These are the vertical fins. They would have rudders on them, but this doesn't come with a rudder. They just use differential thrust while you're in the forward flight mode, and they use tilting nacelles when you're in the hover mode. And we have, come out of there, no. This is the elevator. Needs to be glued in place, and those verticals need to be glued onto there, just like so. And I'm clearly going to have to hook up the control rod for this. Kind of old school, but this is an old school kit. So once again, you have to expect it. down there, hopefully. Oh, good enough. They're down there good enough. You got the wheels, landing gear, they just simply snap into the two mains in the nose. The nose is a free swivel. So it's not nose wheel steering, it just free swivels, like a tail wheel. And they just snap into the bottom of the fuselage. Set of props for, how many blades I got on this thing? This has got 5 blades. So I'll have to see how many you're going to use. I think I'm going to use 4 for the kit, but I'm going to find out. But it comes with 5 blades for each side. And they're individual blades, and they're meant to be free floating so that you can loosen them up and fold them over, fold them inwards on both wings for transport, so you don't break a prop during transport. And the real V-22 shipboard ones have folding props or rotors, I might call them. You should call them rotors, folding rotors that do the same thing for storing them on a ship. So it's kind of a little sense of realism there. This is my, here's my missing control rod for the elevators. And a couple gaskets, I guess. They're kind of fiber spacers or gaskets that look like they go on the motor mount for the props in the spinner. And a piece of Velcro for the battery. And we have the spinners themselves right here. See if you can see them. Yep, spinners themselves right here. So I can't see what you guys are seeing from this end of the phone. I have to take a peek behind and see what you can see. And the last thing that comes with this is, it looks like, oh, I can't read the language, but I can open it up and see. It appears to be two tubes of cement. So it looks like we have a part A and part B, some kind of an epoxy. 2-part epoxy. I like 2-part epoxy myself. I do that a lot when it comes to gluing. The old school airplanes, before you screwed them in, you had to glue the fins on, the vertical stabilizer and the horizontal stabilizers. You had to glue them in place. I typically favored 2-part epoxy over foam tack or foam glue. And comes with the instructions. You know it's an old school plane when you're getting instructions in hard copy. Today they make you download the instructions. Alright, so I'm going to put this thing back together. I'm not going to build it today. I don't even know when I'm going to get around to building it. Maybe in the next couple of weeks. I'm still breaking in a couple new airplanes. Well, I can't say new. I bought them over a year or 2 ago between the 2 of those planes. One I bought last year, one a couple of years ago. Those are the EDF, the big jets, the 90mm and the 80mm. Just getting them broken in and getting the videos uploaded. One reason I got this, really, I'm kind of breaking my rule because I really have all of the variations of planes that I want. I got the biplanes, I got the jets, I got the World War II planes, and I got a couple GAs and the C-130. So I have everything style-wise that I need. None of the new stuff that's coming out intrigues me enough to want them. I got this kind of as a backup to my E-Flite, because like I said, the E-Flite is very fickle. It's small and it's delicate, and it's got a lot of complicated programming in the flight control board, and if things don't go exactly right, if it doesn't like everything, it can be catastrophic. If the transition doesn't go perfectly, it will spiral down, and it spiraled down on me twice so far. And a lot of the people I know with that E-Flite one, they've had that same issue, so that's why they don't make it anymore, I guess. So I'm hoping, I got higher hopes for this because it's larger, and I'm hoping it will do the transition well. It will definitely fly better in a hover with the slightly forward tilt than the other one did. So hopefully pretty soon, next thing you'll see with this will be it out at the flying field. So far, so good. Thanks for watching.